What's up, everybody? It's Chef Grammer with the ABQJournal, and I am in Lawler Event Center in Reno, Nevada. This is the ABQJournal Sports Live pregame from Reno show for the tonight's UNM Lobos at Nevada Wolfpack game, sponsored by Sandia Sportsbook. Thank you very much to Sandia Sportsbook for helping us out with these shows. Obviously, they sponsor the coaches show every week too, for UNM sports and for basketball and football both, and hosted there all season long for football and basketball season. And they are also sponsoring our podcasts, Talking Grammar, Writer's Block, and I guess our live show, the ABQJournal weekly live show that Sean Ryder and I do, as well as this show, this pregame show, which as of right now, got a wonderful angle of a photographer taking some pregame shots. So great angle, great. This is great production value right now, guys, with my mighty webcam showing you guys some Reno photographer back. I'll just say back. So there you go. Anyway, let's start the show off by giving you guys, since it is that time of year where people are chasing scoreboards, doing updates, trying to see what all the seedings and standings are going to be in the Mountain West tournament. Let's do some scoreboard watching real quick tonight. Some interesting games. Obviously, this is the game of the night. New Mexico at Nevada really is the game of the night. We're in the second half of all three early games already. And we got Fresno State leading by 2 at Colorado State in Fort Collins. It's a Fresno State team that I've been saying even before Saturday when they almost did it to the Lobos. But it's a Fresno State team that I think is going to pick off somebody above them in the standings. There's no reason that Fresno State team, in my mind, should be the 10 seed in the 12-team league. They are a pretty good team. And when you look at their backcourt, really 3 guards. Deshaun Gorey kind of plays forward because of his rebounding. But now that they're kind of playing 2 bigs, and Deshaun Gorey is more of the 3, and they kind of got 3 guards going a lot of the time because Douglas is out for the year. Point being, Jake Highbreeder, Deshaun Gorey, Zion Collins, that trio, it's as good a trio as really there is probably in the whole league. Certainly right up there. I don't know that they have a whole lot of depth beyond that trio. I do think Wilson Jacques, the guy from France, so it's probably Jacques. Anyway, Wilson is their big man. They're 7-footer, 6'10" maybe. He's been playing really good, so I think their bigs have been playing good. I'm just really surprised that to this point of the season, Fresno hasn't already knocked somebody off. Right now, they're up 51-49 with 13:27 to go in Fort Collins at Moby Arena. Colorado State's a team that's won 5 in a row, so they're playing really, really well. And obviously, let's see what else we got here. All right. Right off the bat, let's go ahead and answer the first of probably 10 more Chris Howell questions for this pregame show. Is Chris Howell out the rest of the year? I don't know. All right. Look, they're going to update me and you guys all at the same time. They don't have an answer right now, so it's not like they're keeping an answer that they know. At this point, with only 4 games left in the regular season in the tournament, it's probably a safe assumption. You could start going on the side of why would he come back now if he hasn't been able to come back to this point. But the question for Chris Howell remains. He got injured on the game that made him ineligible for a medical redshirt. So if he doesn't play the rest of the year, as of right now, the NCAA won't let him play again next year. They are looking into precedent for times when maybe there's been an exception made. Maybe they can make an appeal for him to get a medical red shirt. None of that has been decided. None of that, as of right now, the bylaws are this. Chris Howell does not have a medical redshirt option because he got hurt in the game, 1 game beyond where he was allowed to still get a medical redshirt. So that is why probably it is still an indefinite kind of situation. If they are 100% assured that he can't get a medical redshirt, maybe he comes back for the last couple games of his college career. But if there's any chance that he could salvage an entire season out of this, I think they're going to continue to take it with caution and try and figure out if there is a way to get him 1 more season, because he played in he got hurt in the first half of the one game that put him beyond the limit for a medical redshirt. They're looking into what they can do about that. Bloody hell, are there no fans in the stands in Reno? There are no fans yet, but we're still 50 minutes away. We're still 42 minutes away from the scheduled tip-off, and that is, I'm looking at the pregame clock that says 48:45, so I'm guessing there's a slide. Have you been told if there's a slide? Is there a slide to the start? Probably they haven't told you yet. There's got to be a slide because the pregame clock says 48 minutes. So this game's probably starting more like for you back in Albuquerque or in the Mountain Time Zone. This game's probably starting more like at 9:15. I have not yet been told that, but I think at this point, based on the pregame clock, it's safe to say this game is not starting at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Maybe more like 9:10 or 9:15. What is up, Lobo fans? Thanks for the stream. It's kind of hard to do the Hefe with the GEO spelling. Go Lobos, he says. Tough end of the schedule. I was just talking to somebody here in Reno about that, Eddie. Tough end of the schedule. Hope we can get the W. The last 4 games for the Lobos is about as brutal as it is in the entire league. There are a couple teams, though, that have kind of maybe equally brutal. I wouldn't say anybody has a tougher schedule, tougher Final Four than the Lobos, who are at Nevada tonight, quad 1 opportunity. At home against San Diego State on Saturday, quad 1 opportunity. At home against Colorado State, quad 2 game. The Colorado State team that has won 5 in a row, like I mentioned earlier, is in the dogfight right now with Fresno in the second half. And then they finished on the road at Utah State, which could be a coveted quad 1A opportunity. Quad 1A, for those that don't know, is basically a even new way to sort of slice up the quad system into the quad A's are this right, and like the really good quad A's are even better, and they're the quad 1A's, and that's kind of based on the team's net. Utah State has a chance to be one of those quad 1A teams. I think it's top 20 maybe, because if you play on the road, the top 50 quad team is top 75 rather. Quad team is quad 1. So I got to find out what the quad 1A kind of cutoff is. So anyway, the Cinematic Affairs in on YouTube saying howdy, Jeff. I will say howdy right back. I'm not opposed to a good howdy. Poe is in on X. What are the chances that Jake Hall makes Mountain West first team? Plus, when was the last time we saw a freshman make the first team? Well, I can tell you the last time freshman made first team was 2012-13 season. Anthony Bennett happened to go first in the NBA draft. He was a freshman, and I do not believe a couple highly regarded freshmen from UNLV through the years, but none of them, I think, made first team. I don't think anybody, if memory serves me correctly, and I'm not saying this with 100% certainty, but if memory serves me correctly, I don't think there's been a freshman even make second team in the past decade. I really don't. So I would be shocked if Jake Hall doesn't at least make second team. You asked what the odds are of him making first team. Well, let's think about it. First of all, Mason Falslev and MJ Collins are both going to make first team for Utah State. I don't know that anybody from San Diego State, even if they end up winning the league, I don't know that anybody makes first team from that team, because I couldn't tell you who their best player is right now. And if I did know who their best player was, I don't know that I would pick that player over 5 or 6 other players in this league. That is, I don't want to say to a fault of San Diego State, but when you boast all the time about your team of depth and you play 11 players, even when the statistics tell you shouldn't be, they have a worse record when they play all 11 players. They have a better record when they only play 10, an even better record when they only play 9, and an even better record when they've only played 8. And maybe it cuts off at 9. But anyway, the statistics have shown all year that San Diego State is better when they shorten the bench and they let some of their better players play more minutes and not just try and keep saying, well, we play so physical, we need to play everybody. Stop it, all right? Everybody in the Mountain West plays physical. You're not that much more physical, San Diego State. You don't need to play 11 players every game when the stats are telling you have a worse record when you do. The stats are telling you have lower efficiencies on offense and defense when you do. There's not a benefit to it other than you like saying you play 11 players and you're really deep, and you want to keep everybody happy for NIL purposes. I get that too, but the reality is, man, you're playing for a conference title at this point. Stop it. Just play your best lineups and try and win the games, right? So I say all that to tell you I don't know who San Diego State's best player is. I couldn't tell you who would be their first team player. So Mason Falslev, MJ Collins at Utah State, both first teamers. Who else we got? Jaden Henley's going to be in the conversation. I would tell you that at Nevada, Elijah Price and Corey Camper, maybe Corey Camper, those two are the ones that would be the ones in the conversation for first team. So Grand Canyon, Jaden Henley. I really like Makai Williams, but probably not for first team. Trying to do all the non-Lobo teams right now that might have a first teamer. Colorado State doesn't. Boise State does not. Oh, Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn. I would be shocked if Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn at this point doesn't slide into first team. He's going to get the Nevada vote, the UNLV votes. The guy's the best pure scorer in this league. When he gets hot, a Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn heater is better than any heater in the league. There's nobody else in the Mountain West right now that can get into a 5-minute spurt of nobody can stop him quite like Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn. Now, he doesn't do a whole lot of else. He's not a big rebounder, not really a big assist guy or a creator. But it's kind of hard to argue with the guy who in the game of basketball can't be stopped from scoring, right? So earlier in the year, I called him a few times the poor man's Jalen House. I still think he's a better pure scorer than Jalen House. But he does get emotional, does have the same kind of hair, the same kind of talk to the crowd, talk trash, play better when you start talking trash to him kind of thing. But he is not a distributor like Jalen House. He's not a creator. He's not a defender like Jalen House. He doesn't do any of those things as good as Jalen House, but he does score better. So I would say Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn is in the conversation for first team all-conference. I would say MJ Collins, Mason Falslev, maybe a Jaden Henley. And I guess then if you want to go from there to whoever you want to put on there from San Diego State, I would tell you Miles Burt's defensive numbers are still really good. I know everybody likes to point out every time he has a bad game, but it certainly isn't Magoon Guath. He's not going to be first team. He's just been hurt too much. I don't think Dixon Waters is going to be first team, although maybe for a while there I would have told you BJ Davis. He led them in scoring for so much of the year. Wasn't even a starter, though. So I don't know, but if you think San Diego State's going to get somebody, if you know Utah State's going to get two somebodies, I'm telling you, I think Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn is going to be one of the five. And then that kind of leaves one spot for either a Jaden Henley, a Jake Hall. Statistically speaking, if you look at KenPom, Tomislav Bullion is still better than Jake Hall has been this year. If you look at the just straight statistics about it, because Jake Hall is pretty much just a scorer, right? He's a decent rebounder. He's okay at defense. He's okay at assists and stuff like that. But he's not going to win the award for anything other than scoring. And if you look at his scoring, he hasn't had a 30-point game like several other players have. So there will be some people that say all he does is shoot, and they're not right. But I'm telling you, the way the vote goes, it's going to be hard for Jake Hall to be above that fifth spot when you're ranking players for a top 5 team, right? Could he get to that fifth spot? Yeah. So will he get to that fifth spot? I don't know, because I think there's about 3 guys in the conversation for that 5th, 6th spot. Nobody at Wyoming, nobody at San Jose State or Air Force to get them out of there. Nobody at Fresno State, and nobody at Colorado State's a first-teamer. So maybe it kind of comes down to him and Jaden Henley, right? Like, who would you say is a first-team all-conference guy, Jaden Henley or Jake Hall? And maybe that's who it comes down to. And he might split some votes of Tomislav Bullion, who's not been great lately, but to forget that he's the only guy that's averaging a double-double in this conference would be ludicrous. Tomislav Bullion's still having a pretty good overall year, and some voters do look at the overall year, not just in conference play. So will there be a sellout tonight? There will not be. We will not sell out. Do we even have any 2026 freshman commits? No. There's one commit so far, and it is a 2027 commit who may reclassify to 2026. There is, I believe, we're still kind of waiting on his pro team overseas, but I believe there will be an international commit who would be a freshman and in class of 2026. So until he announces publicly, I guess he's not a commit, right? So I think UNM does have somebody lined up, but I will I will add some context to your question. Tell me who has a 2026 commit anywhere. The recruiting world in 2026 isn't one where a whole lot of high school. You can go to rivals.com, 227 or 247 sports, 247 sports right now. Go look at the top 150 right now. and see how many names that 5 years ago would have had a little logo next to them already. Almost all of them. Right now, if you go and look at see how many names have a little school logo next to them because they've already committed, it's just not like it used to be. Portal time is when you start your major signing of papers and signing of documents and signing of NIL money and this and that, because you don't know who you're going to lose. So therefore, you don't know for sure who you have to go get. So once you find out who's leaving your team, then you try and plug those holes, and then you try and save a couple spots for freshmen when you can. And but you don't want to load up all your committed scholarships right now to freshmen when you don't know what you may be losing. If you say they lose Jay Call, right? You need a shooting guard on the team next year. You don't just go try and get one in the portal. You try and go get two, or maybe even three that might fill that spot, and hope one of them fills the spot. So it's not just like you wait to see, oh, we lost one guy, let's go replace him. You lose one guy as good as a Jay Call or a Tomislav Bullion, which they're probably going to lose. You lose that, you go try and replace him with maybe two guys. So you wait now on the recruiting, and the recruiting of high school freshmen is really taking a back seat to the portal recruiting, and that's sort of where we are in this college basketball world now. John Romero's in. You know what time it is? Hold on. You know what time it is? It's my favorite time, beating the Wolfpack, Alford, and Noodles again. So, go Lobos. If we play to our potential, we will be victorious. I would tell you, if both of these teams play their A game, I think the A game of the UNM Lobos is better. The A game of the Lobos is better than the A game of the Nevada Wolfpack right now. On the road, lose some margin for error there. I would tell you that the Lobos have not played their A game in a while. They played poor defensively at San Jose State. They played poor defensively against Utah State when they lost in the pit. They played poor defensively when they lost to Boise State, even though it was only by one. When they lost in the pit, they played good defensively for one half at Grand Canyon. Then they had a bye. Then they had a game against Air Force, which I'm not going to count anything. Like, okay, yeah, they played good defensively. It was Air Force, possibly the worst team in the conference ever. They did not play a great defensive game, certainly not in the first half, against Fresno on Saturday. It's been about 3 weeks since we've seen a great defensive performance from this Lobo team that used to be all about great defensive performances. So because of that, I'm telling you, Nevada has a good chance tonight. There's a reason they're favored. There's a reason that road games in the Mountain West are said to be, and statistically have proven to be, very hard. It's tough. It's tough to win. But if New Mexico finds its way again, I think New Mexico is the better team. There's a reason they're in third place. There's a reason they swept Grand Canyon. There's a reason that if they win tonight, they secure a bye in the Mountain West tournament with still 3 games to go in a year that the byes went down from 5 teams to 4. So there you go. Is New Mexico leading the league in attendance average by far. They are leading it quite comfortably. I need to drink the water. Somebody's standing right behind me. He's been standing there for a while. I don't know if he's been in the picture the whole time. All right, what else we got? What is the chance of Diego Pavia being the point guard for the Lobos in 2027? I would say there is a wonderful shot. Diego Pavia, the point guard of the Lobos. Yeah, I don't put anything at a 0% chance pretty much ever. So I won't say it's a 0% chance. Who knows, right? Who knows? It's a slim chance, but I'll never say never. Thrifty Gaming is in. Hey Jeff, did you try and get any of those games? Use throwback jerseys? No, I don't do any of the auctions or anything like that. I will try and find out though, like who got them, how much money they made, and that all that kind of stuff. That stuff's good. But yeah, I'm not a memorabilia collector. Yeah, I've had gifts given to me. I've had jerseys gifted to me through the years. I have some of that, but I've never actually done an auction or anything where I've pursued or bought a jersey myself, especially not at the teams I covered. Mr. Grammer, Bullion double-double on the way, big-time hop shot. Okay, so we got a hop shot coming, some big hop shot. And then we got Tomislav Bullion double-double is the prediction. I like it. Bullion, by the way, is kind of due a big game, if you ask me. Don't know that he gets it tonight. Elijah Price is tremendous. So if they're going at it, it's going to be tough. But I would tell you that Bullion's He's due a big game. And we got John Romero in here on YouTube saying, I hope Tomislav Goulian is not seeing ghosts tonight like he did against Fresno State and returns to his dominating self, i.e. the double-double. That double-double that he's gotten so many of this year, he has a good chance of tonight. He got 14 or 15 rebounds, I think, in the first Nevada game. And I would say that he's going to get plenty of rebounds tonight. But I would say Elijah Price is going to get plenty of rebounds tonight, too. Desert Lobo 72 is in on YouTube. Jeff, should I waste any calories on pizza outside of the Eastern time zone? Unpopular opinion, but one that I think is actually starting to grow, is I don't think pizza is nearly as regional as it used to be. I think you can find some good pizza places that offer New York pizza, offer Chicago pizza, offer whatever regional type of pizza that you want in other cities now. It isn't as though the pizza's recipes are entirely secret, right? So I know it's unpopular, especially people that really, really want to cling on to, I know that one place in that one city that's got the best pizza ever. That may be true, but I don't think it's as much a drop-off anymore as it used to be when you find that right place everywhere. So if you want to regionalize it, I would tell you, yeah, there's still good pizza in every region. It may not be quite. If New York pizza's a 10, you may not find a 10 anywhere else, but I'll bet you could find some pretty good New York-style pizza that's a 9 somewhere. I think we're at that level now where, for pizza anyway, I won't say that about New Mexican food. Like, you're not going to find good New Mexican food hardly anywhere outside of New Mexico. And it cracks me up when people say, oh, you got to go, hey, if you're in that one city, go try this good Mexican place. They got some great green chili. They don't. I'm just telling you right now, outside of New Mexico, the percentage of good Mexican food, New Mexican-style Mexican food, I know there's different styles of Mexican food. When I lived in Tucson, there were some good Sonoran restaurants, Sonoran style. Sonoran dog, if you haven't had one of those, if you list the ingredients individually, it sounds kind of like a disgusting thing. It's actually pretty good. But anyway, Sonoran style, there's some good places there. But yeah, there's nothing like good New Mexican food. Aztec 2 Tacoma's in on X. Orale, vato. How do you see it shaking up tonight? Shaking down tonight is actually what you wrote, not up. Why would you say shaking up? How is it shaking down tonight is what the question is. I would tell you that while I picked Nevada to win, I don't have a clue. I think New Mexico's due. Like, I think New Mexico was due for a game like Saturday, and they still got away with winning it. I would tell you that New Mexico now for 5 or 6 games hasn't looked all that good. I mentioned it earlier. They haven't been playing good defense for a long time. And so anyway, there you go, by the way. We had the photographers earlier in the way, and now we can show you the other view that I have from my pregame show, which, look, I just sit where they tell me to sit. All right? I just sit where they tell me to sit. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't pick the location, man. I'm just telling you, I sit where they tell me to sit, and if I have the webcam on, I did nothing wrong here. And if my wife is watching, look, I got it on tape. I did nothing wrong here. Franklin and Faye is in on YouTube. Has there been any mention of trying to get Tomislav approved for another year? There has been, because I've asked about it, and I don't know where it stands. Basically, here's the thing. The NCAA granted him the 1 year, right? I do know that UNM and Tomislav believe they have a case to make to try and get a second year of eligibility. Somebody has to make that case and spend the resources and spend the time to do all that, right? Well, if UNM does that and fights that battle and wastes a lot of resources at a time when they don't have a whole lot of manpower, remember they're doing an AD search. AD search, by the way, I think it'll be done by the Mountain West tournament, so that means a week and a half-ish. Also, I think there's going to be some big news later this week. Has to do with UNM athletics that I think people should be on the lookout for. If UNM lost my train of thought, regained it. Don't know why I lost my train of thought. If UNM spends all the time and resources to get Tomislav approved and fights the NCAA clearinghouse to get him approved for 1 more year of eligibility, is there any guarantee that Tomislav is going to actually stay at UNM? Remember, they did that for Anthony Mathis, and Anthony Mathis is a wildly popular Lobo and should be. He's a great guy. But UNM did spend the resources and fight the battle for him to get another year of eligibility. And shortly after he got it approved, he transferred to Oregon. Tomislav Buljan, in a world of NIL, in a time when he is here anyway to make money more than he can as a pro back home, who's to say he's not going to go somewhere to the highest bidder, right? And who's to say that he's not going to? I'll at least make him even. I'm not trying to go over the top here. I'm trying to show pregame warm-ups, guys. I apologize. I, for one, am offended right now. Anyway, Buljan is a double-double machine that if he has one more year of eligibility, will get paid $1 million by somebody and maybe more to go be a big man, even if it's a big man off the bench at a major conference school. Can UNM compete with that? Do they want to compete with that? If UNM has $3 million next year in basketball, men's basketball money, let's just say $3 million is the number. Do you want to spend $1 million, 1/3 of that on one player? Probably not. But there are a couple guys on this team that are going to get offered a lot of money in the offseason. Tomislav Buljan, if he's eligible, Jay Call. And Jay Call has a fantastic relationship and has for a long time with the UNM Lobo head coach, Eric Olin, who's recruited him since he was 13 or 14. I can't remember what year exactly. He won't leave unless it's an offer he can't refuse kind of deal, right? If UNM's offering him $1 million and someone else offers him $3 million, he would be unwise not to take that. It just would be. So, did Olin have closed led practices at UCSD? Nobody covered him at UCSD. He didn't have coverage though. He got one story a year in the San Diego Union Tribune. He had a national reporter kind of come in every, once, especially last couple of years, a couple times. He had some local TV stations come in. He didn't get coverage like he does now, not even close. While I could tell you I don't know the answer entirely, I will also tell you he wasn't facing the same kind of being asked to have people go to his practice. Nobody was asking to go to his practice. In Albuquerque, they would like to do that. I would like to do that, but it is what it is at this point. We got 2 weeks left in the regular season. It's not going to change now. Love the Lobos. Make it happen. Grammer's the champ. I don't know what I'm the champ of, but I agree with you. I am the champ. Gibbs Lawhorn will beat out Hall. If it comes down to Gibbs Lawhorn and Jake Hall, I would tell you Gibbs Lawhorn will win out, but I think Gibbs Lawhorn's going to probably be the third or fourth guy on the first team all-conference, the way he's scoring right now. Unfortunately, that is a follow-up to Justin's Gibbs Lawhorn will beat out Jake Hall comment, and then he says unfortunately. Rumor has it that Olin will go to UCLA next year. Awesome rumor. We'll see. I mean, what do you want me to say? You got a rumor. The search firms have already kind of leaked out there that Eric Olin, who has not left a job, is going to replace Mick Cronin, who has not left a job or been fired and given tens of millions of dollars if he gets fired, and go to a school that has already had and failed once, hiring a New Mexico coach. I mean, come on. I don't know. I mean, there's also rumors that Eric Olin's going to be the Arizona State job, or Arizona State's next coach. There are a lot of rumors out there, and coaching carousel is going to be spinning round and round. I also got a question for you. If Eric Olin and New Mexico don't end up making the NCAA tournament, you think UCLA is going to say, yeah, let's go get another New Mexico coach, one that didn't even make the NCAA tournament this year in what's overall been a down Mountain West season. Yeah, let's go get him again. So we did that once with Steve Alford, and it didn't work. So there you go. There's a lot of rumors out there. Maybe we can get some G League players. What led you to pick Nevada to cover? I think they're playing better than New Mexico is right now. I think they are two very equal teams when you take the road-home split. I think New Mexico is the better team overall, but has not been playing very well for about 6 games now, probably about 3 weeks since I'd say they played well on both sides of the ball for 40 minutes. And 6 games. Did I say 6 weeks? I did not mean 6 weeks, 6 games. So, yeah, I just don't think New Mexico's playing as good as Nevada right now. Nevada, you got to understand, Nevada 1 week ago lost a horrible game to San Jose State. But then on Saturday, they beat the number 1 team in the league, Utah State, a team that beat New Mexico by 20 in the pit. So if you go by immediate recency bias, Nevada's playing a whole lot better than a New Mexico team that should have some would argue. If you're down by 22 in a game, you should have probably lost that road game at Fresno State, but that didn't happen. G's in on X. Any news on Berryman retaining Olin and Hall next year? So Berryman isn't really in charge of retaining Hall in any facet. Berryman is not going to be retaining Olin. I think there will be a new athletic director in place before any decisions by Olin or otherwise will come through. Remember, as of right now, Eric Olin is the head coach for 5 years. He has a 5-year contract. So if nothing happens, he's retained. I don't see in the next week Ryan Berryman as interim athletic director making any big, bold moves that get approved by both the Board of Regents and Garnet Stokes that would be a new contract for Eric Olin. So I don't see that happening. And the Jake Hall news, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what he gets offered, basically. Are you going to Peppermill after the game? Victory Steak. I wish, man. I got so much work to do. Got some work to do tomorrow because I think something may be happening later this week that I need to start working on. Not bad news. Just don't worry about it. It's not Jeff Spread and Dread. But I got some stuff I got to work on. So no, I'm not even going. I'm not going to put not even $1 in a Reno slot this trip. SDSU picked first, has a horrible season and still control their own destiny. Crazy last year, I'm guessing. In the Mountain West, I would tell you that UNM controls its own destiny. They beat Utah State and San Diego State. Trying to think off the top of my head. If Utah State wins every game except the New Mexico game at home on March 7th, would New Mexico have the tiebreaker? They would have. No. If they finish with the same record as Utah State would have the tiebreaker if they win the rest of the games by virtue of a sweep of San Diego State, who would be the next team in the standings. UNM and Utah State splitting would make them tied, so then it'd go to the rankings now. So, yeah, New Mexico doesn't control its own destiny. San Diego State does because they could get a split with Utah State and then get a sweep of New Mexico. I don't know that San Diego State holds their own destiny either. I think the tiebreaker scenario is with Utah State being one game up right now, if they only lose one more game to either San Diego State or New Mexico, that team could have a tiebreaker scenario that may not overcome Utah State's tiebreaker. So I don't know that San Diego State or New Mexico have own destiny control right now. I think only Utah State does, but it's still a lot of games to play. Not a lot of games, but a lot of critical games to play. Eddie Brock is in. More minutes for Rock in the near future? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, Rock's had good moments and Rock's had bad moments, too. I think Rock this year, if he gets up to 20 minutes a game, would be probably the very high end. He's had a couple games where he's started flirting with 17, 18 minutes. I think that's probably where he's at. About 18 minutes a game, kind of that. Luna Love Good. How does the Journal afford to get you a Bellagio Fountain View suite for the Mountain West tournament? There will be no Bellagio Fountain View for me, I can tell you that. I won't even be staying on the Strip. I try not to stay on the Strip during the Mountain West tournament. I can't do a week on the Strip. I cannot do a week on the Strip if I'm working, man. I will lose not only money, but will lose my mind. And also smell like smoke all day, every day on press row at the game. So there you go. Apologize for the obstructed view. Some of you I know do not feel this is an obstructed view in any shape, form, or fashion, but there you go. So I started the show by giving you some updates on some scores around the league. Let's get back to that real quick. Right now, Fresno State and Colorado State are tied at 64 with 3:40 left at the final media timeout. With 24 seconds left to play in Boise, Boise State is going to pull it off against Wyoming, 69-62. And San Jose State is up 8 at Air Force, 84-76. With 2:37 left to play. That is a game that is probably Air Force's last chance to get their only Mountain West win this season. And there you go. All right, guys, that is about it for me. Went through all your questions, and please follow if you can on social media. Follow the Journal's YouTube page if you can. And postgame, ABQJournal.com will have the postgame write-up. Obviously, a game story. We'll also have postgame interviews, video. Tomorrow morning, Emptying the Notebook will be posted probably by about 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Mountain Time. And we will Have some updates, obviously, too, in print. This will not be in the print edition tomorrow in the Albuquerque Journal because of the game time, but you can get it online, abqjournal.com, and there you go. What else we got here? This TCU game will go well over 9:10. Is that the game that's on before? I don't have it up, so I didn't even know. Got another person saying, yeah, this game is definitely getting pushed back to 9:15. TCU, Arizona State are literally fighting each other right now. So apparently there's a fight. Game on CBS Sports Network right now. Still 15 minutes left. Yeah, good luck getting that game. I will tell you the pregame warm-up clock is 18:30 right now. So they're already preparing for a little bit of a slide, but maybe there'll be a little bit more of one. What are your thoughts when Olin plays Bouillon and JT together? I'm okay with it, but I just think they're too thin at the big to give too many minutes overlapping, right? Not because they necessarily gain fouls while they're both on the court together. I'm just saying right now they have 40 minutes devoted to two big men, and if you make that 50 minutes into a 40-minute game where you're overlapping 10 of those minutes, like you're putting more exposure to both big men on the court, getting into foul trouble, and I just think you don't have a big man after that. I mean, Luke Hop can only play so many minutes at the 5. Antonio Cho can only play so many minutes at the 5. We have people mad that he doesn't play more minutes as a true forward, go inside and rebound now. Can you imagine them trying to play against Mountain West centers? The risk-reward of the big man lineup is, and you got to remember, is the foul trouble by overlapping their minutes, right? As of right now, if you get 40 minutes that you cut into 30 minutes with Thomas Bouillon and 10 minutes with JT Rock, you still only got 40 minutes with 10 fouls. If you start overlapping those minutes, your 40-minute game is starting to cut into that kind of the ratio a little bit, right? What else we got here? Anything else? There we go. Rumor is that Jeff prefers red chili. I'll tell you the answer. A cinematic affair, I will tell you the answer because I am a true New Mexican. The answer is I don't prefer red chili or green chili. I am a prefer kind of guy. I will take green chili on my breakfast burrito any day of the week. I will take red chili when it comes to a carne asada or an enchilada, probably. Most enchiladas. Chicken enchiladas, I like green. It depends on the dish kind of guy. I'm a depends on the dish kind of guy. At least Alford and Patino stayed at least 4 years. If Olin is one and done, he's lame. Could be. Alford stayed 6 years, by the way. Rumor is Coach Olin is getting a big raise if the Lobos get to the Sweet 16. That's fair to say. Get big bonuses if he gets to the Sweet 16. We got Calix in here saying, wow, I don't think any of us are paying attention to the words and you're losing train of thought too. I don't know what you're talking about. I do not know what you're talking about. Is Air Force a historically bad team? They are. I think right now it's between them and the 2014-15 San Jose State Spartans, who did not win a single game against a Division I opponent, but I would tell you might have been more competitive in some of their Mountain West games. They didn't win a single Mountain West game. Air Force, it looks like, is not going to. But Air Force at least has 3 Division I wins. They won those 3 games in a 4-day stretch where they had a home MTE tournament at the Academy. They beat out 3 teams that are really, really bad, but they're 3 Division I wins. The 2014-15 San Jose State Spartans did not beat a single team that was Division I or Division II. There was an NAIA school that they beat and a National Collegiate Christian Association team. So there you go. That team might have been better than this Air Force team right now, but statistically it's going to be a neck-and-neck race to who's the worst. All right. I got to go find out what this TCU Arizona State fight's about. Guys, I appreciate you being here. ABQJournal.com. Emptying the notebook tomorrow morning. Print edition. Take a look. We got some other sports in there. Won't be this game. Got to follow me for that or check online. So thank you, guys. 15 minutes is what the pregame clock says, just so you know. 15 minutes before this game will start. And that, if it's 15 minutes on the pregame clock, that means at least 20 minutes. We're at least 20 minutes away from starting here in Reno on CBS Sports Network. And from the sounds of it, that game, TCU and Arizona State, not going to end anytime soon. So there you go. Thank you, guys.